So one thing I've doing over the past week is to get to know the fidel in much more detail than I have done in the past, because my tutor said to get to grips with pronunciation, to return to the fidel and really, study them. So the way I did that was to write about every single character in the fidel. You can see I've written about some of them more than others, but I tried to kind of get to intimately know the characters in the fidel and really look at detail about what changes from one sound design to the next. And I found it a really useful exercise because it needs to lock in different ways, and everyone has a different strategy of doing this. So with the C sound, the I sounds is the hook at the bottom on the right, and with some of them it has that, like the C and this other C and the sh. But as you can see here with the re, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have the same hook. So it's like, okay, well, what's different between ru and re and ra? How can I remember this being re rather than that? Because it doesn't follow exactly the same pattern. So it's very plain looking letter, no hooks or legs. Need to try to remember to roll my tongue I don't find it easy to roll my tongue with the R's. It's not something I can naturally do. So it's also putting in those reminders as well. With the row sound, I call it, so you can see here, it's classic liftoff. And the reason why I call it classic liftoff is because I say that O is like a balloon for liftoff. Sometimes it's visible, sometimes it's invisible. Look for signs, usually on the right hand side. So ho, there's like the balloon on the top corner, and it's kind of lifting off the ground. So it's like, oh, so remember the balloon. The low also has the loop. Ho doesn't have the loop, but the right hand side is cut short, so it's almost like it's lifting off the ground. So no balloon, but the left hand side is starting to fly up. So if I see this flying up sign, I know it's usually a O sound. And that's different to the A sound, because if you look at there, what I've got for ho is like, I'm thinking it's the h flying off the ground. So it's like ho. But for ra, which is opposite, it's got the left hand side cut off. I'm saying the left hand is cut off, and that's like because it's in pain. So that's how I remember the sound, because the letters are in some kind of pain. La is also the bit cut off its left leg. With ha, it's nothing's been cut off, but the leg's been stretched over from the right to the left. So it's still in pain, and then I got that ha sound. This might not make sense to some of you, but this is my way of trying to lock it in. So ma also has the right leg squashing over to the left, and that also has the and then sa is the same. And again, the R's are different. They don't follow the same rules as the other kind of letters. Very subtle change, not much difference, but there's an extra hook in the tongue. So that also gives it that sound, because it's like the tongue being stretched out of his mouth. And then again, it's in pain. So this might sound crazy to some of you. Sa, a bit cut off its left leg. But this is my way of trying to lock it in. So every sound, every letter sound has a different kind of pattern and different way that I'm trying to remember it. And I find this really useful. But everyone's going to have their different way of doing it. So this is just one, but I've definitely found an improvement already. So it's very time consuming, but I definitely think there has been an improvement of my recall and my reading ability since then. So let's see. The proof is in the pudding. It's not going to be over ever. This is going to be a lifetime study. But this is just one way that I've been trying to learn Amharic, in the doing, in the theory, in the writings. I do believe when you write about these things, it also helps lock it in the memory. So I'm physically writing and studying and analysing. And I think that's also a useful way of doing it. So blessings and love, yet a Brett for cure, ye Xavier Yemaskan, Nok Ken.